Deputy Owen Murphy.
Thank you, Mr. McDonald. Just three questions, really. The first is following on from Deputy Higgins, this presumption in favour of development. Did you find that amongst officials as well? And what relationship does our development-led planning process have on that?
Yes, it was a view held by officials as well, particularly county managers, in my experience. Professional planners were much less enthusiastic, if you like, about the wilder aspects of development than county managers were. In counties that had a perception of themselves as having not done terribly well in the past, now was their chance to improve their lot, as it were. And in some cases, indeed in many cases, the recommendations of professional planners were overturned by county managers. And in fact, I know of one county manager who said, "Don't be giving me reports recommending refusals."
And is it your understanding that the investigations that were to take place, the external investigations into certain councils, was to look into that kind of behaviour?
Yes, and more. Not just that, but also other stuff as well. But the substance of the allegations were never examined in those inquiries that took place. That's the problem. I mean, there was an unwillingness to face up to the maladministration and worse that took place in various counties that were named and were the subject of so-called investigations, but the investigations were not actual investigations in the sense that there was no determination to find out what really went on. For example, the people who were making the allegations were never interviewed.
And where do you think that unwillingness came from?
The system.
The system just as itself, not willing to investigate itself?
The system does not want light to be thrown on the way it operates, in effect.
And then who has responsibility for ensuring that light is thrown on the system when it needs to be?
The Minister for the Environment.
Okay.
And successive Ministers for the Environment, it seems to me, going back to the mid-1990s, were unwilling to do that.
My second question is in relation to your opening statement. You talk about no effort being made to enforce the anti-sprawl guidelines.
The Greater Dublin Area Strategic Planning Guidelines, yes.
Exactly. But there would have been, or would there have been, competing pressures, if you like, from other interested groups not to enforce those guidelines?
Yes.
Say, for example, from a residents' association or from a body like An Taisce?
No, I don't think that was the case at all. I think that An Taisce and any sensible residents' association in Dublin would certainly have supported the strategic planning guidelines for the Greater Dublin Area. You know, but those guidelines became yet another example of the way we do things in this country, which is we write loads of stuff down as aspirations and, you know, aims and objectives and mission statements and all the rest of it. But there isn't any determination behind it to actually implement what is written down. You know, and the strategic planning guidelines for the Greater Dublin Area that date from 1999 turned out to be a total paper tiger. You know.
Thank you. And then just my final question. It's more to get your opinion on something, because it's something I'm trying to think through myself. I mean, in your opinion, is there an ethical difference between a councillor taking money to vote a certain way and a minister or a government party introducing a tax incentive after receiving donations from someone who would then benefit from them?
No, they're the same.
The same?
Seems to me.
Okay.
Yeah.